fruitcake. I gotta remember to put that in my
It's
suitcase.
leaning. It's leaning.
That's because all the good stuff's up the one side. Yeah.
There we go.
And then you'll have to plan to bring back a giant hair gel.
Yeah, they're gonna think really odd things about me at the airport.
yeah.
I leave with a full intact fruitcake, and I return with a full
I
intact.
think TSA is keeping track of that. They're like, wait a minute. Let me
Nobody
pull out my
travels with
list.
these.
She
Excuse me,
came
ma'am.
in with a fruitcake.
They're good. What if
And
what
she's
if
leaving with hair gel.
what if by no fault of our own there's actually something inside that fruitcake and they see it when they X-ray my suitcase? They scan it.
Oh, they're going to see that.
If they tear apart this fruitcake to find something, I'll make sure to buy you another one on the way.
You
Steve-O.
literally just have to
I mean,
lay
no-
this down and put a watch on it, and they'll think it's a bomb.
Yeah.
They're so fucking stupid.
When are you leaving again, Becca?
January.
What day?
Ish.
Oh.
Sometime in
They're-
January.
Okay.
two or 3 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks.
I
from
might
now.
sneak in and do that. Just go through your baggage and just put a watch around it.
Just put a watch.
That would
Put
make
a
my
watch around it.
story.
Bomb.
Yeah, just bomb.
This bomb ass fruitcake and bring it to Florida.
The choice of millions.
Who had no other choice.
The
Yes.
choice of
The
millions
only one there.
I can't
since
wait.
1910.
It's gonna be his choice too after he eats it.
Here's some special instructions, Steve-O.
Oh.
Okay.
You need to keep it in a cool place. Well, this room is solid there.
Shut up.
Chill before slicing
Chill.
for
That's
extended
why it's squished
keeping.
when I cut it.
Oh, yeah.
For extended keeping, refrigerate or freeze.
Freeze.
No problem
That
there.
is the old lady move.
It's supposed to be in a cool place, and I'm bringing it to Florida.
If you're confused about any of these things, I think it'll be clarified for you at www.claxtonfruitcake.com.
Is that what it said? If you're confused by any of this, you need to go here.
What else do you want me to say? Let's see what the number one ingredient is. What is the number one ingredient in a fruitcake?
Hamster bedding.
I'm
Right?
gonna say
Yeah.
refined flour.
Okay.
Mm. It's not a fruit, so we're gonna go carrot.
Okay. Steve-O?
Cherries.
Well,
That's wishful
all
thinking.
all
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
tries. All good tries. The number one ingredient in the Claxton fruitcake, which is the choice of millions,
Bomb.
I heard that.
raisins.
What?
Hmm.
How is
Believe
that
it.
possible that it's the number one ingredient? That means there's the most of
Okay.
it.
All
No,
right.
that's just people's
Flour.
favorite ingredient.
Number three ingredient. Okay, now you're really gonna like this one.
Mm.
What's the number two ingredient?
Carbohydrates.
Hey, that's a choice. All right. So I'll adieu with the suspense.
Mutt fruit.
You're wrong.
Oh, wow. You had me there.
Orange peel.
Raisins, orange peel, and then
It's just
flour.
ground up bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean,
It's like all the leftover
they don't
shit.
even go the chefy route and say orange zest. They just go orange fucking peel.
We dig these out of trash cans.
Becca's drinking the last of the eggnog that we had, and she inspired me to drink Kachaka because it was right here.
Oh
I've
no!
been storing it behind the table for just an occasion. So cheers again.
Cheers,
Cheers.
everyone.
Yeah, New Year, happy
Cheers.
New Year, right?
Happy New Year.
Who here?
Oh, we have to do predictions.
Yeah,
Oh,
prediction.
I just now occurred to me.
Do we do that before the New Year or after?
Well,
Why would we
this,
predict
yeah,
things in
Yeah,
the new
we
year?
got to do it because what if
yeah,
if a celebrity dies?
Yeah.
Next week.
Wait, hold the fucking phone.
Should
we
be in
have
the
to-
notebook.
it.
We have to find our predictions from last year and see if any of them came true.
Oh, you have them?
Right.
I mean,
You should.
somewhere in this.
We just want you to be prepared.
I will look through. Don't wait for me. I will look through it.
Oh, you all right?
I just found a poem titled "Jews Don't Ski."
Okay.
Is that one of our famous unaired poems?
Well, I got a lot of stuff in this notebook. I have one of my interviews from work. I have a detailed list of questions and answers from an interview at work.
Huh.
Okay,
How does
keep
that work
talking.
out for you?
She's still there. It's great.
Since we're on this Christmas topic, Steve-O, did you see the email I sent you?
Yeah, I've got it pulled up.
Y'all, check this out. Now, I verified this. This is a real account. This is a real person. This is in no way a joke. This person is very serious.
You want me to? Oh, you probably want me to show it
There's
to you.
your-
Yeah.
This tweet somebody put out.
Okay.
What is the name of that? The
Progressive Dad Foundation.
Steve-O, can you read that for us?
Yeah, it says, my partner's kids got Kinder Surprise eggs in their Santa stockings. I swapped out the toy for a duck heart and liver. They were horrified when they saw it. Opened up an amazing discussion about ethics of meat consumption.
What?
What?
Why?
And then it was hashtag what? Like vegan?
Hashtag vegan, hashtag Merry Christmas. Oh my God. Sorry, you, sir. You just scarred your children, not everybody else eating meat.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
There was a famous guy I heard on the news today that he'd passed away, and he was some really super vegan guy and wrote a lot of books. I mean, for a long time.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing his wife, and they were talking about some stuff. I wish I remember the guy's name. And it was a story about obituaries. And this quote came from a conversation that the wife and he had. The kid was eating a beef sandwich, and
Little murdering bastard.
yeah, and the father, of course, was a vegan, and I don't know if the mother was. That's not important. But the kid didn't finish the sandwich and threw it out. And the mother says, you shouldn't waste food. And the dad agreed, and he took a bite out of this sandwich, and he looked at his wife and said, 30 years of tofu. God, that's good. And they put that quote in his obituary.
Wow, that you'd think maybe after the fact he wouldn't be very happy about that.
Yeah.
The quote.
Yeah.
I lived a lie all these years. You imagine being a little kid, you love Christmas, you just want some candy, you're opening your stocking, you break open an egg, and there's fucking duck guts. There's liver and a heart.
Yeah, duck heart and liver.
Just spill out of this fucking egg.
Ugh.
And then you get lectured by your mom, the dude that's banging your mom. This isn't your dad. This is just the dude that's banging your mom.
Oh, that's even worse.
yeah. And
Yeah, it
he's
says my partner's kids.
yeah, he's
Ugh.
just gonna start fucking lecturing you about ethical
Meat consumption.
meat consumption.
I mean, and you're just sitting there. I mean, just like you said, as a kid, you can't wait to get into the presents.
Yeah.
You're dying, and oh no, it's lecture time.
I mean, hate Christmas for the rest of his life.
I would fuck with that. If I was one of those kids, he'd be fucked with.
You're not my dad.
Take a shit in a Kinder Egg and give it to him.
There would be repercussions.
Yeah, next Christmas he'd get a special gift.
Yeah.
I'd have all year to concoct my plan.
And that's the thing. Like, I understand if people really care about animals. They love their pets, and they see whales. Like, I saw this awesome video of a orca at a park, and it was using fish to catch birds.
Oh.
It was awesome. So this killer whale comes up. There's like a little shallow area,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and he just kind of drifts up out of the water, and he spits a little fish out right by the edge of the water, and there's all these birds gathered around, and he just sort of backs off. His mouth
Wow.
slaps, and he backs off, and those birds start, and then one creeps in, he just lunges out and grabs it and pulls it in the water.
Fuck.
What do you do with it?
He just took it down for a swim.
Took it out to dinner.
Yeah.
They cuddled.
They cuddled.
That's so
They
cute.
had a
Unders-
conversation
yeah.
about meat consumption.
Yes. Quick and short conversation. Bird eats fish, whale eats bird.
That's so interesting. That, like,
Why?
why? You've got a fish right there. Why not just eat the fish?
Yeah,
You-
true.
It's like, I don't want to eat fish all the time, I guess.
Yeah, it's like these fuckers only give me fish sometimes.
Menu
Yeah.
options.
Sometimes I want poultry.
Yeah. But I understand why people love animals, but it seems like this kind of shit just gives animal rights activists a bad name.
Yeah.
They just act like assholes running around and dumping blood on people and shit. And
Yeah, meat eaters don't make a big deal about it. You know, this guy in particular, not every vegan, but he's being a fucking asshole about it. And people that eat meat, we're not trying to force anybody else to eat meat. Have you guys ever seen the show Meat Eater?
No.
I think it's on Netflix, but
that's the guy that's friends with Joe Rogan.
Right. Steve Ranella, I think is his name.
Yep.
That's a great show. I mean, it's a show like, to us, it's like, duh, you shoot the animal, you eat it. But like, it would be a good show for a vegan to watch, to see, you know, the kind of, respect that goes into it, the kind of work that goes into the stalking, the very methodical process that he has of doing it. And then when he kills it, he dresses it. And, you know, and then the last part of the show, usually they're cooking up something that they killed that day and, you know, talking about how to season it and stuff. I don't know. I think it'd be a good idea for a few vegans to watch something like that.
Yeah, it's very true that hunters generally, they spend more time in nature and understand those animals far more than any douchebag that's just sitting in the Starbucks preaching, you know, typing shit on his phone. Like, he goes on a hike once a month or whatever and thinks he's in tune with nature, but hunters understand the wildlife and they understand all the things that go into it, why you need to do, why it's important, and what you can and can't do, shouldn't do, and all these different things. And like my papa was like that. He hunted all kinds of shit, and he wasn't crazy, and he didn't abuse what he was doing. He didn't go out road hunting and shooting shit. He did what he was doing, you know, the animal.
One of the funnier things I saw on the show is they were walking. I think they were hunting some kind of pheasant or some kind of like rare quail or something. But they're walking through the tall grass, and he sees this rabbit run by, and he's like, "Rabbit!" And he pulls up his gun and bang, he shot it. And he's like, "Well, you know," he just like he was like, "Well," he's like, "It was kind of instinct, but I figure, you know, we haven't shot anything, so I might as well shoot this rabbit." So he goes ahead and dresses it and stuffs it in his bag behind, you know, on his back. And then a little while later, as they're walking, he's slapping himself. He's starting to get fleas all over him from the rabbit. And he's like, "Oh my God, this rabbit's got fucking fleas." And the guy who's walking with, you know, he's like, "Well, that'll teach you. Don't go shooting those little fuckers." Don't.
So Becca, you actually found our predictions from last year.
Listen,
I hope so.
Here's what I found. I found our 2017 predictions.
What?
So I found the predictions from from the end of 2016 for the year 2017.
We've already gone through those ones.
The only thing that I have on this piece of paper is my own personal 2018 predictions.
No way.
I guess I didn't write them all down.
What? You turn the page?
What? No. What's on the other side? The Pyramid of Oppression is on the other side of it. Nope. So I don't have everyone's written down. What kind of fucking scribe am I?
Are you sure it just wasn't dated?
That does not sound like you.
Let me tell you how I know that this is for the year 2017. Nathan's prediction was Trump will be better than expected.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
So it couldn't have been for this year. It was for 2017. So it's worth noting that Steve-O predicted that Chad Kroeger of Nickelback will not die, and he's still right. And then I also wrote this just for posterity. P.S. Brad was upset when he found out that Freddie Mercury died. So that was something that happened in the end of 2017. He found that out late, really late.
When who?
Freddie Mercury of Queen.
Okay, he just found out in 2017.
Sorry, babe. All right, so my 2018 prediction.
How did this happen?
Really? Like this doesn't? I can't believe this.
I don't understand this.
I know some of my predictions.
Okay, that's good. I wrote at the top of this here, everyone will stop parking like an asshole, and I know that had to be Steve-O. I know you had to say that.
That was my prediction. That
Well-
that they won't stop.
Yeah, I guess. It says, did everyone stop parking? I dropped
What are you
everything.
doing?
Did everyone
What's
stop
going on?
parking like an asshole? Well, my 2018 prediction was we will get a speak pipe from Jerry, and boy, did we.
Yeah.
That happened.
More than we wanted.
Yeah.
Another one that I said was we will get, this one makes me so sad. We will get a speak pipe from Haywood Banks.
Yeah.
I was wrong. It did not happen. But I don't have everybody else's. I'm sorry. I wish that I would have thought about this earlier. I would have gone
Strange. You
back.
just have those.
Just wrote your own.
I find it hard to believe you didn't write them down. They got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect.
What if you drop the book and it's on a different page?
I don't think
That's what I wonder.
so.
Just drop it.
I'm sorry.
Throw it against the wall.
I dropped every fucking thing else I have over here. But speaking of Christmas presents and finding guts and eggs and things like that, like we were talking about a minute ago, I want to get this out of the way. I have to find it. I dropped it.
Oh my God.
It's closer to you. Can you grab it? Okay, so everybody remembers my awesome Secret Santa gift for Nathan last week, which was the mug that said, "Carry yourself with the confidence of a mediocre white male." Is that what it said?
Yeah,
Did it
something
include
to that
the
effect.
color? Okay, this was what I originally wanted to be.
That's
your
what I. Oh, by
secret-
the way, that's what when my family Christmas. That's what I took to drink my whiskey in.
Oh man, I was about to say that.
That's awesome.
A conversation starter.
Yeah.
This was the thing that I originally wanted to be your Secret Santa gift, but I could not get it in time. So I thought you should open it on the show and share it with the world. It's wrapped in a box, and then inside of it is another.
just
It's
let
a
them experience
nested.
it.
It's a
Yeah.
nested package.
And it's something that, just so everybody knows, is the only one of its kind in existence.
The workmanship on this
Be
is
careful, don't
amazing.
throw anything
It's
else
the
in.
only. No, you don't need to be careful with it. It's basically a pillow. I don't know. It is the only one of its kind in existence. Okay, now squeeze his feet. Okay, everybody, this is what we have. It is a plush Aleister Crowley figure,
So weird.
and if you press his feet, put it up to the microphone.
Put it on the front side.
I think he's reciting a ritual right now.
Yeah.
Don't be scared, Dave.
Nobody can understand what he's saying, so I hope it's
And
not a spell.
That's because it's probably Latin. That's pretty weird and creepy.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
He's got a pocket on his butt. You can put stuff in.
Yeah.
you can't quite
I
fit
do see.
a fruitcake in.
Little Horn Antiquarian Occult Books and Rare Items. So they just had these in stock.
No, I guess they just made one because it literally said this is the only one in existence. Have it. It's
Or
it's
it could
yours.
just be a lie.
It could be, but
So they have somebody that just makes random versions of with different people and
Yeah, you can just order whatever image you want on it.
no. I honestly Googled that. You want to know what I Googled? I Googled Aleister Crowley action figure. And this is the only thing that popped up when I Googled that. But I want to see if I can find. There was one other option. There's one other option of person you could have, and I want to find who it was so you can.
Well, while you're looking, folks out there, this is a good reason to watch the stream on Mixer, mixer.com/Verbal Assault Podcast, or on YouTube after the fact. Verbal
Yeah.
Assault.
so you can see this, which is probably the most bizarre gift I've ever been given.
And because it is one of a kind,
It is one of a kind.
it is not the choice of millions.
I thought when she told you to squeeze the feet, it was gonna go like
Air.
yeah.
Go, you're going to hell. That's just what it says.
I think be careful with the thing that makes sound because I think if you hold it down, you can record your own shit on it. So I think it'll record over what
Oh.
Yeah, so just push it once quickly if you want to hear him do his little chant.
Thank you so much, Becca. That is definitely a one-of-a-kind gift.
You make it sound like you really like it.
So funny.
Keep talking. I'm gonna find who this other person
Well,
was.
while we're talking, I wanted to mention, and I don't know if Steve-O can Google this while I'm talking about this, but if you want to go to NBC Today Show and see if you can find a story that aired this morning.
Give me something to Google other than NBC Today.
Yeah, fly fishing sisters. There was a piece this morning about the fly fishing sisters that roam the country.
Campers.
I'm certain of it. I am certain of it. They were talking, all their campers were all decorated, all specially. And they were talking about how men aren't part of this group whatsoever unless you're specially invited. You know, they had some guy that was singing there at one of their festivals. But
Is it Sisters on the Fly?
That's it.
That is it. That is a camper because there was a sticker on it when I got it.
That's it. And they refer to each other as sisters by number. So when you become a part of this organization, I'm sister number one.
What sister number are you?
0. Sister number 0.
That's so cool. All right.
Stay Free has
It's shit.
Stay free.
That'll be
It's
a good
not. It's not
segue.
giving me the option to mute it.
more protection than ever before. With all-in-one multi-fluid absorption technology that locks in fluids faster, no matter what your day brings.
You wanted to talk about
Periods, leaks, and everything in between. Stay free. Free to be you.
I saw it this morning. I thought, I've got to
weird.
talk about this.
All right. I'm going to share the screen there, listeners. Bear with me. All right. Ready?
All year long, we've been bringing you stories of sisterhood. We've met all sorts of women building bonds in unique ways, including these Sisters on the Fly.
They're a group of women seeking some outdoor adventure and doing it in style.
NBC's Stephanie Gosk traveled to Red Lodge, Montana in search of fish and friendship.
Wait.
Stories of sisters.
Whoops. I skipped
and
it back.
scissoring.
Hey, I know Red Lodge, Montana very well. I spent some, when I lived in Montana, I lived very close to Red Lodge. It was the place of choice to go skiing, and lots of little shops. It's a little like small town, mountain town feel. Yeah, that's really cool.
Crazy.
How are we so intertwined with these women?
I don't know.
We should bring him on the show.
I thought he was
For
going to
real?
say that's where he put on most of his bodies.
No, that's where I learned how to ski.
And friendship.
Here I come, fishy, fishy.
Fly fishing isn't really about the fish.
This is just such a fabulous, quiet in the water, ripples.
Maury Sussman's son taught her 20 years ago.
You liked it immediately. I loved it immediately.
That sparked an idea.
She's got
More
that look in
women
her eye.
needed to fly fish.
And Sisters on the Fly was born. Yes.
Sisters on the Fly quickly evolved into a club that did a lot more than fish. Staging trips in the most beautiful corners of this country, outside, all year round.
It's to Montana.
More than 10,000 women from all over.
I'm sister number 1.
My sister number is 4886.
I'm sister number 3804.
Totally differently, but that is it right there.
What?
Go back.
That
to,
can't, no, that
bit.
one. It's the same one.
Yeah,
Pretty
same
sure.
one.
Was it,
That
wait, this Sue Clifton?
Yeah, the one behind her. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look like that on the outside, but that looks like the right size
What
and
a
shape.
shame.
Wow.
It's like you say, what a shithole. What a shame.
So that's so fucking weird.
So it could have been any one of 10,000.
Yeah, you just don't know which sister
Yeah, I don't
number
know
it
which
was.
one.
So now, if you do see some kind of placard, or when you're cleaning up and you see some kind of sticker or something that you didn't see before and it had a number on it, maybe that's your sister
So
number.
Look for a trap door.
They go by numbers, not names.
Yeah, I didn't mean to tell you that. I didn't mean to play the whole story. I mean, but
No, that was, yeah.
I
so good.
yeah, I thought that
That's
was cool.
so fucking cool. By the way, the other doll that's available from this person is of Doug Stanhope. Who is that?
I
He's a
don't know.
comedian.
Okay.
He's a friend
Yeah.
of Joe Rogan's.
Well,
All
that's
right.
the other option, but I went with Aleister Crowley.
Yeah,
Good choice.
choice. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else remember their predictions Any of their predictions?
I mean, no, I don't remember what I said.
Because we depended on Becca to write it down.
Oh, please.
I think maybe I thought, did I say that we would be, maybe I said we were going to have a conflict with North Korea? Was that one of the predictions I made?
Oh, no.
Could have been.
You did not.
Very well could have been.
Somebody go back right now and listen to this episode from last year. No, we're in it now. We can't.
I mean, it's possible.
I'll
to
keep
do
looking
that.
at this notebook.
I mean, oh wait, actually no, because you'd have to scan through it, skip through it, and find it. Yeah.
How about this?
Listeners.
No. Here, we'll make our predictions today for this next year, and then next week we'll listen to our last predictions, or
Okay.
we'll
We'll find them
out ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then we'll revisit those next week.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
How about that? All
Well,
right.
one of my predictions for this year will have something to do with a prediction of last year because it didn't happen.
Okay. Well, you want to tell us that right now?
All right, I'll tell you. I'm pretty sure I predicted that we would fly astronauts from the U.S. this year, and we didn't.
And we didn't.
But it's a new prediction for this coming year. I think we will. I really think we will.
Okay.
I really hadn't thought about my predictions for next year yet. I wasn't prepared for this.
Me neither.
I thought about it, but I thought that it was going to come next week because I thought that we did it once the new year had started, but it makes sense that we would do it before. Because some of that stuff might happen on day one.
Mm.
Good.
Actually, while y'all are thinking, there is a really cool NASA event that's coming up on. They actually they did their little correction burns and stuff to make sure that this happened on New Year's Day. You guys remember the New Horizons spacecraft that gave us all those pictures of Pluto a few years back from 2015? So the last 3.5 years, they've been trying to catch up with this other Kuiper Belt object, which the Kuiper Belt is this. It's kind of like the asteroid belt, just further out. It's out past all the big planets and stuff. So they've been chasing down this rock. I think if I remember right, it's about 20 miles across, and they've been chasing it down for 3.5 years. And I was listening to a podcast today, and apparently this was all part of the plan, not necessarily which object, but they were like, okay, we're going to fly by Pluto, but let's make sure that we build this thing in such a way that we can continue on and go search out some of these other objects that are out there. So they're going to do their flyby. It's supposed to happen at 12:33 midnight, like after New Year's changes over, and then we'll actually get the data back 12 hours later because that's how far away it is. So whenever it was going by Pluto, it took 9 hours for the data to get back. And now it's 3 more hours because it's so far out. I just think it's so fucking cool that we have this. Like we've had the Voyager spacecrafts that were launched back in the 70s that are now out in interstellar, the interstellar medium. They're outside the solar system officially, right? But we have this one that we launched, 10, 12, 15 years ago. And it's built to kind of explore out there, not just fly through it, but built to like check out some shit on its way. And so this is just one thing. I think from the way that they talk about it now, like before it was like, oh, Pluto, Pluto, Pluto. Now it's like, we're going to check out some more shit on our way out of the solar system. And so that's on New Year's Day.
That's cool. So, but once it gets out of the solar system, it's kind of nothing for a long time, right?
Yeah. We'll probably keep communicating with it like we do the Voyager spacecraft as long as we can. It has a finite amount of nuclear fuel on board.
I know we all know this, but maybe you should share what you shared with us this week about your good news.
Yeah, I have ever since I've been down here, I've been applying for this NASA social program, which is anytime there's a NASA mission or NASA event or something, they'll invite people that are active on social media to come and cover it and kind of get the word out. Like their whole thing is they want to have as many people as possible that aren't necessarily like rooted in the space stuff. which is I think has a little bit to do with why I haven't been accepted in the past. But I got lucky this time. But that's the whole plan is for them to kind of get the word out more from social media people, and it's usually around launches as far as the ones that happen here. And so this one that's coming up is it's the demo mission for the first Dragon Crew spacecraft, the one that's actually going to carry people up to the space station. There's not going to be any people on board, but this is a pretty monumental flight because this is going to have a lot to do with, are we able to keep the timelines and actually put people, is it safe to put people on board this spacecraft? And anyway, the applications opened up a few weeks ago and I applied, and I've been waiting patiently through a government shutdown because the notifications were supposed to go out last Friday and I heard nothing. And luckily I was able to find on Twitter and stuff where other people hadn't heard anything either. And a couple days ago, actually it was the day after Christmas, I got the email from NASA Social saying that I had been accepted. So for this test launch, I get to go, I actually had to fill out a thing to get press credentials for this thing. So
I was hoping you'd put on a hat with a little press pass thing on your hat. I want you to get one of them fedoras with a press pass on the top.
Right. I don't know exactly what all it entails because I've never done it before, but everybody, of course, lots of people are posting on Facebook and on Twitter and stuff that they got accepted, and everybody that has done it before is like, congratulations, this is going to be awesome. Everybody says it's life-changing, and I don't know what they mean by that. Maybe just it's really cool. What?
They're all bums under a bridge.
Yeah. It's really life-changing. I went there behind that Kennedy gate, man, I've never been the same.
So yeah, you get to go in closer and take
a lot closer. And I'm sure there's some sort of a tour. It's a 2-day thing. So launch is currently scheduled for January 17th. So I'll be there on the 16th and 17th. And there'll be things, I'm sure there's going to be talks we'll be watching and stuff, and lots of opportunities for pictures. I'm hoping that they let us go into the SpaceX hangar where the Falcon 9 and the Dragon will be stored. Now, granted, it could already be up on the pad. I don't know. But from what I understand, they're going to take us out to the launch pad. We don't get to set up cameras, unfortunately, but we're going to get real close and take some good pictures. And the whole, the goal is just spread what they're doing. I think part of maybe what helped me get in, in the application, they give you a box to write a paragraph about how you would use this opportunity to kind of spread the word. What are your plans if you were to get accepted? And I said the whole bit about how I've been obsessed with this stuff since SpaceX first sent cargo to the space station, and all the shit that they've done has just roped me in, and now I'm totally engulfed in all the spaceflight stuff. But I told him that this particular mission is important to me because I've been following them, and ever since I heard that SpaceX was going to be launching astronauts, obviously it became very important to me. And I understand the importance, even though there's not anybody on board, how important this is, and I might be able to relay that importance to people who might otherwise just consider it just some other launch or whatever, and explain that this is a big milestone towards actually putting our astronauts on rockets in the U.S. again, which hasn't happened since 2011. And a lot of people don't even know that we still got astronauts up there. I mean, I talk to people here, we're right next to it, and people don't necessarily understand that we've had people on the space station since, I think, 2000 was the last time.
They also don't realize that America stopped putting up astronauts.
Right, yeah. They probably assume that, don't realize that we pay Russia, it's now over $80 million per seat to send an astronaut to space. And once we're able to do it ourselves, it becomes like a trade back and forth. We launch your astronauts, you launch ours, so we don't have to pay them anymore.
Collusion, you would say.
Collusion,
maybe. Yes. Yeah, weird how that works. Yeah. Cooperation.
Oh.
Drops McGee over here.
Drops McGee. So, as you all know, I've had a trip planned down to Florida for a little while now, And about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, Steve-O calls me, and I'm at work, and I see Steve-O's calling me. I'm like, what the fuck? This has to be important. So I answer it. And he's like, hey, what day is your flight going back? And I said, this day. And he's like, I'm going to need you to go ahead and change that. Because there's a launch on that day. So I did my thing, and I paid $20. It was $20 to change my flight to the next day. And on Wednesday, the day after Christmas, I get a text from Steve-O. And he says something along the lines of, as it turns out, I'm not going to get to watch that launch with you, with a big smiley face. And I read that. I'm like, what an asshole. What a douche. Why would he say that to me? And then 2 seconds later, I realized, oh, yeah, it's because he gets to do this really fucking cool thing.
Yeah.
I'll watch it by myself. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think, or at least I'm hoping, that we get to watch, at least from the press site, because I think the press site is only like 3 miles away, whereas the closest I've ever watched is like 3.5, you know. But I'm kind of hoping that they at least take us inside the vehicle assembly building where they used to piece the space shuttle and the Saturn V together. It's like the biggest building by volume on the planet or whatever. I would love to go on top of it, but they only allow so many people up on top at once, and there's 120 people that were accepted. So I don't know if they would, if they'd let us get on top of it. But it's gonna be cool, man. What I'm expecting is to gain a lot of insight. Like I learn from the other people that are in there, and maybe talk to some people. Like, what should I be doing? What should be the next step? The end goal here is camera on the launch pad regularly.
Yeah, I mean, you also get a chance to network too.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what that'll entail?
Right.
I mean, there may be somebody that's just in the building that, is taken aback by your verbal assault T-shirt, and just got to have a conversation with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna borrow Kegel's verbal assault T-shirt.
Yeah,
because I don't have one, but he does.
Well, that's awesome, Steve. I'm glad you could do that.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a prediction for 2019.
Predictions. That's right. We were talking about predictions. What's a prediction?
Kevin Spacey will kill himself before he gets found guilty.
Whoa, that's hard.
Yeah.
No, that's a celebrity death and a news prediction. Did you
Yes.
see that fucking video?
I haven't watched it. I've
seen
heard
parts
about
of it.
Dude's fucking crazy.
I heard his lawyers were trying to attack what's it called? Attack the person that accused him. I can't.
Yeah, that works. Attack the person that accused him.
Yeah, but
That
not with weapons.
No, yeah.
Attack their character. I guess is what I heard, that the lawyers were trying to do that. I doubt Kevin Spacey had anything to do with that. I think his lawyers were just doing it behind his back. He probably didn't put them up to it.
Nah, or know anything about it, and not try to stop him.
Yeah.
Becca, you have a prediction?
Oh,
you want to write this down?
Oh, I guess I
you
fucking
need
do
to
want to
write-
write this down.
Yeah.
So Steve-O's is we're gonna put somebody in space.
Yep.
Hold on, I still tried
human.
2019 predictions. I broke two. What is that? A 9? Okay, Steve-O says
Launching astronauts.
Says launch
Astronauts.
astronauts. Is there any more context? Because in a
And
year,
I also predict that SpaceX will beat Boeing to it, because that's still a competition that's ongoing.
beats. But I should.
Definitely.
SpaceX will be first, but
Yeah.
for context for the listeners, there's somebody that they're competing against.
Launch astronauts. What else can I write to make that seem more clear?
We know what it means.
We know what it means. SpaceX will launch astronauts first.
Okay, all right.
Or, I mean, in general, we will from U.S. soil launch astronauts, but
Not
specifically.
Yeah.
U.S., not Russians.
Or
Okay.
China.
Patrick
Or
says
China.
SpaceX
Kevin-
will be the choice of millions.
Kevin Spacey will kill
Kevin
himself.
SpaceX.
Yes.
Will kill himself. Skip me for now. 'cause-
I also think that Virgin Galactic is actually going to have passengers this year. They did their test flight up.
Yeah.
They're calling it they went to space, but there's some debate over exactly where space is or whatever. But
Virgin Galactic will what?
Space tourists.
will launch paying passengers.
Okay.
Oh, be sure to put in before his verdict.
I cannot fucking keep up with this.
Hell, maybe even Blue Origin will too.
Forgot about them.
Throw Blue Origin on there. I mean, they've been making faster progress.
You'll remember that part, Steve. All right. What? And he'll say, "Oh, I said Blue Origin too," and we'll go, "We don't remember that."
Give me a second to pour some more eggnog. What do you guys think?
So, Patrick predicts Kevin Spacey before he'll commit suicide before his verdict.
Let me tell you guys. Hold on. I wrote kill. There are
Bardick.
3 L's in kill, and I wrote Kevin Spacey will kill myself, and I crossed it out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you should get yourself some more of that.
Yeah, keep getting that
I
eggnog
live
while
here.
you
I don't
can.
have to go anywhere after this.
No, go buy more.
I don't need more.
So-
I had plenty.
Here's my prediction.
Okay.
Let's say hopeful prediction, but I'm seeing signs. I think this could be a thing. I'm predicting the beginning of the downfall of social justice as a mainstream kind of thing. I think more and more people are getting fed up with that bullshit, and we're going to see some cracks in that big communist wall.
Do you have any predictions about how that might play out?
I think, well, one of them might be a good indicator would be Patreon going out of business. That would be a good hopeful for what they've been doing.
Elaborate.
Nobody knows about that, huh?
Yeah.
You kind of mentioned it on the last episode, but didn't go into
Patreon
detail.
a couple of times.
So there's a big YouTuber, Sargon of Akkad. He's really good, and he's a kind of he calls himself a classical liberal. He's sort of center. He's in the center. He's got some right-wing beliefs, some left-wing, but he has debated a lot of alt-right, actual white nationalist people. And in one of these debates on someone else's channel, he was talking to actual white nationalists and basically said, "You all are acting like a bunch of white N-words."
Mm-hmm.
He actually said the word, right?
Yeah.
He's like, and he even said, like, "That's your term. You're acting the way what you say of what you call these people. That's how you're acting." Because they were just having a big argument. He got pissed off, and then a few days later, Patreon pulled his account. The thing about that is that Patreon has a very clear, or had a very clear terms of service to where as long as you don't put something on our site, we don't really care.
Right.
And so he said this thing, and they just came out and said, well, he used a bad word. They even knew the context of it. They knew why he was saying it. He was actually arguing against white nationalists and using their own language against them.
Mm-hmm.
And they still said, we're going to pull you anyway. And then they had all this bullshit. Like, it literally was like, we can't have a strictly defined terms of service because everybody's an individual and we have to judge every account. We have a
case by case basis.
We have a team that does a case by case thing. And
how dare you? It's not your responsibility.
Well,
like,
basically,
you're just a company. I wouldn't even know about it if you hadn't shut them down.
Yeah, and they're saying like literally that if we don't like you, we'll get rid of you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what our rules actually say. This was so bad. It's so ridiculous. And I can't pull off all the details on the top of my head. I'm not quite that eloquent, but Sam Harris, who had like the number 13 most like funded Patreon account, pulled his account completely.
I've seen Jordan Peterson and somebody else.
Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin.
They're coming up with
They're
something.
going to start their own company to counteract this stuff. And then people are dropping off all over the place because they're just tired of this kind of like wishy-washy, you offended us, so we're going to try to ruin your life kind of bullshit.
Right. I mean, you really are. People rely on that income.
So I'm thinking, that's a good indicator, but I think it's going to be just it's going to be in social media and in just the quote mainstream media in general, where people are going to stop bowing down so much to these kind of ideologies and just giving it, they treat that shit like it's just the normal way you're supposed to act.
Right.
Like, did you see the video from today about the guy in GameStop? The guy in
I watched
did
that.
You see it?
Yes.
You call me ma'am.
Yeah. I'll show you, sir.
There was this dude. He must have been 6.5 feet tall. He had a dress and a wig on.
Deep ass voice too.
And he was like bitching about wanting to return a PlayStation or something. And this like dweeby little dude actually accidentally called him sir.
And just went the fuck off.
And the guy just went crazy, was kicking shit over. You call me ma'am. And he was literally going,
yeah.
like stalking around.
God.
And all
Like
these people are like,
beast.
they're just like, no, he didn't. Like all these people are freaked out, and this guy is just ranting, saying, "Call me ma'am." It's
There was one part in it. The kid was like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna need you to move over here." You called me guy or something like that, just screaming at him. He's like, "I'm just saying in general."
Yeah,
just move over.
He's like, I just mean like guys, just plural guys.
Yeah.
You know, people do that all the time. Does the man in the dress know that people do that all the time, especially when they're flustered? Like if you're standing in somebody's face and you're bitching about something and you're getting heated and you're raising your voice, I haven't seen the video, but I assume if he was bitching about something, people get flustered and make mistakes. But it just so happens that in this day and age, the mistake he made is newsworthy.
Steve-O, can you find that?
And that guy's
I'm about to send him the link.
And that, it doesn't help that the guy's on ketamine.
Right.
I'm not paying enough attention, or
This kid, was clearly.
Uh-oh.
Like that kind of shit in general. The duck heart and liver. He was. I was looked at his Twitter today, and he was just bitching.
You're gonna give me my money back.
Excuse me, sir.
And this kind of stuff, like, we're gonna stop. I think in general, people are gonna stop just kowtowing to this kind of shit and just saying, "Look, I'm fine with calling you what you want to be called. I know you personally. If you're just gonna go crazy and act like an asshole because somebody slips up and then start kicking shit over and like,
it's not called.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Fuck you.
I haven't
Go have a
behaved
bad
that
day. I
way
don't
since
care.
grade school.
What's that?
I haven't behaved that way since grade school.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is very childish. It really is.
Did you get it, Steve?
Yeah, I got it, and I think our connection is back to be. Did you guys notice that it like cut out for a long time there?
Yeah, your face made this.
Good now.
All right, cool. Here, there, and let me expand it and play.
The young man in here. You watch him out.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
I'm sorry.
It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was a general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
I apologize.
Motherfucker.
I apologize now.
Acts like a straight dude. Just fucking
I
shit
need your
up.
corporate number. Because I'm going to call them and talk about how I was misgendered several times in this store.
I apologize.
I need your corporate number now. Get it for me now.
I can do that. I'm going to ask you to calm down and stop cussing.
Dressed like a 14-year-old.
Give me your
girl.
corporate number. Well, I'm going to ask you for the fifth time to stop calling me a man. Because quite clearly I am not.
And I apologize. I'm sorry for that, ma'am. I will get you that number. Is that okay?
Yes, get it for me now.
I'm asking you to stop
Get it
cussing.
for me now. I'm not cussing. I'm not cussing.
Okay.
Get me the damn number now, please. Ooh!
Justin.
Ma'am, I apologize.
Ooh!
I apologize. I will get you that number right now.
That man has got twice.
Which I plan on telling the entire LGBTQ community. You're going to lose money over this.
Oh, shut
Get
up.
Nazis, the LGBTQ Nazis out.
Why is it okay for everyone else around her to feel uncomfortable? Why is it okay to her that everyone else in the world is uncomfortable as long as she gets what she wants? That is the most horseshit. Don't get me fucking started. Why are we talking
Especially
about
in
this?
I have with it is that he gets get outraged at this, and then they start kicking things.
Mhm.
Now, listen, you can be mad and whatnot, but that's a crime.
Yep.
That's destruction.
Destruction of property.
It's vandalism. I mean, you can't behave that way. Just because someone referred to you in a manner does not give you license to destroy personal, corporate, whatever property.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't give you license to. Your offense does not give you license to be a douche.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
You're going to be a douche, whatever, but make sure you make no mistake that behavior does not equate. You're just a douche because you're a fucking douche, not because you're oppressed or ridiculed or like I didn't even know there was a thing misgendered.
It was an honest mistake. And
Yeah.
like pick a better battle. That was an honest mistake.
Pick a better battle. I like that. And if I were given that, at the end of the day, that poor guy from the counter is going to go, what should I have done? What should I have done? Well, from now on, I guess you need to refer to everyone as folk. Folks, can you move over here? Folks, can you move over there?
Thank you very much, folk.
That's right. Folk.
Singular folk.
Folk you.
Is there a singular folk? Can you say folk?
I think so. I think folk by itself is
Yeah,
plural.
because when I was a kid, and here's another gender kind of one of those. What's the word? What did we talk about last week? The week before? Gender stereotypes. When I was a kid and my dad was going out of town and I was staying home with my mom and my sister, my dad would always say, "Take care of the women, folk." He would tell me to take care of the women, folk. I'm 10 years old.
All right,
Just
well,
say it.
we have somebody in chat.
Oh, okay.
That's Party Naked Podcast. And they say, man, even when I was totally blown up on 8 different steroids, I had less testosterone than that motherfucker. That's just, sir, I'm sorry. Oh, man.
That's right.
Oh, you said it.
It's like
hell yeah.
he decided to become a female, but started just kept taking the
yeah.
the wrong hormones. He
That's
just, I'm going to take some
awesome.
steroids and HGH. I'm going to get jacked. I'm going to get angry.
Yeah, man, it would be hard to assume. Well, what do they want to be called when they're acting so manly, but they're dressed like a girl?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
Like,
point.
how am I supposed to know? Like, look, man, I'm cool. Do whatever you want. I am not trying to offend you. In fact, I have learned that I better make an active effort to not offend you, but I'm still going to because I just don't know already what's in your head and what you would like to be called. Maybe you could wear a placard.
Everybody has information that someone else doesn't have. That's something that everybody would be good to remember, is sometimes someone else has information that you don't have, and they have information that you don't have. And everybody just needs to be a little bit more understanding of everybody else.
To get past that, you have to communicate. It's the only thing you can do.
And sure, he walks in there and he says to the kid at the counter, I am upset about my PlayStation, and from here on out in this conversation, you are to refer to me as ma'am. Like, just get that out of the way, and then you're fine. And then if he calls you sir, then it's him, he's trying to take jabs at you. But for you to walk in there and be like, stop calling me sir. If you were listening to that and not watching it, you'd be fucking confused.
Right.
Yep.
Because that sounds like an angry man.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Nathan is in his prediction, which is where this kind of stems from, is I think it is a train wreck. It's gonna run smack dab into itself. And we are very concerned about making these labels because everybody needs to have that label. And I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to say it. Here I go. The last labels that but the last labels that were put on folk ended up in large buildings huffing bad gas and getting burnt up.
Yep.
I mean, it's if you really want a label, I mean, have you paid attention to history? You want a label, you want a serial number, you want a tattoo on the underside of your left hand or your left wrist? I mean, come on. LGBTQ?
Where's the plus, bigot?
Yeah, you gotta have that. Man.
Okay.
It's more than that.
All right, Party Naked Podcast back at it. Says women, I don't know that I agree completely with what he's saying, but women are supposed to be passive aggressive, but he's capitalized passive, right? That person wasn't passive at all. And that was ready to make someone have to pick their teeth out of their own poop.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I would say supposed to be, but I would say more women are definitely passive aggressive.
I'm passive aggressive.
When they are aggressive.
I am, but it's not because I'm supposed to be.
I'm a male passive aggressive, so I mean.
True. Yeah, me and Dave have really good passive aggressive battles with each other.
I'm aggressively passive. Leave me alone already.
Just leave me the fuck alone. Aggressively passive. Yeah.
Right. If I don't have to talk to you, I won't.
Well,
it's really the.
Yeah, definitely. But that's true. I mean, he was. Come on, you're just confusing. What about that kid that wanted to get his Fortnite doll in there, and he's just standing in line?
Just got kicked by
and
a
this
dude.
guy's running around. He's just
stomping on it. Yeah.
Mommy, why's the man in the dress? I mean, even the kid out of the mouths of babes. I mean, and then would he yell at that kid or would he yell at that mom?
Oh,
it. I mean, I can't help it. I'm even referring to the folk as a he because I can't get past the.
Here's the thing. Okay, this might be dense of me, but why is it that all of a sudden this year, and it's been kind of spiraling, but this year, why is it that there are so many people that feel this way? But up until this time in our lives, it's not been that big of a deal. What is it about now? Why are there so many people that are this way now? I know it has a lot to do with social media, but surely if there's this many people that feel this strongly about it, it's not just something new. It's been around a long time.
Okay. That's a really big question, and I know a tiny bit. I could say what I've heard people smarter than me say. So basically that it springs out of postmodernism, and which was kind of sprouted out of Marxism. So Marxism started to obviously get a bad name, and there were intellectuals that wanted to kind of branch off of that. They wanted to keep some of the ideology within it, but they wanted to call it something else. They went with postmodernism. And part of that, one of those core tenets, kind of what they all operate on, is that all of society, anything in social structures, it's all based on power. It's all power games. So if you're ahead in any way, it's not because of competence. It's not because, you went out and worked for it. It's not because, hey, somebody helped you out here, you got helped here, and you were in the right place at the right time. It's mainly power. It's you exerting your power over other people in this sort of negative, I'm going to conquer everything else kind of mindset. And that ideology spread throughout the US in the 60s through guys like Foucault, who was, I think he was at Cambridge. He was a French philosopher. I'm really fuzzy on this, but I'm in the ballpark. But that stuff started to spread out into universities, and now all over the U.S. and Canada, in any kind of art department, any kind of gender studies, these kind of places and universities, everybody has these viewpoints. It is basically a leftist Marxist viewpoint with a mix in of this postmodernist ideology, where it's basically this sort of anti-traditional values, anti-Western thought. And now that has, because social media is based in Silicon Valley in California, these areas, all these people are leftists and they've been indoctrinated into these things. And now they are in places like Patreon. And when somebody like Sargon of Akkad, Alex Jones, these people become popular and they don't have views that they like, they are now censoring and booting these people off of these platforms. They even now people left Patreon and they went to a place called Subscribestar, which was, I think somebody said it was mainly just like cosplayers were using it. It was like a fan community thing. People would fund cosplayers. Oh, hey, I need money to make my fucking costume for whatever. Yeah. So people like Sargon and others went to Subscribestar. Well, PayPal then, Subscribestar got called an alt-right Nazi funding organization, and then PayPal pulled Subscribestar for, like, you couldn't use PayPal with Subscribestar anymore. So you have all these companies, like, they're acting at the same time. Like Alex Jones was pulled from like 5 different places online at the exact same time. It wasn't an accident. Obviously these people are communicating and doing these things in consort. So it's mainly universities, it's online social media, and then obviously parts of the mainstream media like CNN and the NBC types that are still kind of pushing this stuff as being normal and okay, and this is just the way it is. This is the way you should be thinking. If you're not, then you're a bad person. If you believe in borders, if you believe in the most basic fucking thing of a nation, if you believe in borders, then you're some kind of hateful racist. Those are kind of views are being pushed as normal. And it really is a very small number of people, but they have a lot of pull and a lot of voice in certain areas.
I don't think it'll last much longer. But Party Naked Podcast says they typically identify as 78% male and are pretty aggressive.
Who does?
Party Naked Podcast.
Oh,
they're 78%.
78%
What do
male.
I call you? How do I address you?
Well, if they're partying naked, we could tell.
78% male would be MAL and then just a tiny little bit of the E. So it would be right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Mal.
Mal.
I'm Mal.
That's how I'll address you from now on, sir. Or sir.
Yeah, it can't last, and I think it's kind of a redo of civil rights. They're just doing it wrong. And I wasn't alive during the civil rights movement. Maybe they were doing it wrong too, but they got the outcome that they wanted, and good for them. But I don't know if it's like the type of people that are involved in the movement, or if it's the time that it's social media, but they're alienating even the people that support them.
Well, yeah, the point is,
like I'm afraid of calling someone by the wrong pronoun, but I do support that you should be seen as equal. But why should I be alienated even though I support you? But I might offend you, and then you don't know me well enough to know that I do support you, and even anything that I say, once you're offended, is you assume insensitivity on my part.
Yeah.
Dave just had his mind blown.
Nathan can read that. That I'm worried about mispronouncing one of those words because I'm from the hills.
Party Naked Podcast says, gender politics aside, here's a real touchy subject. Cosplay is a stupid word. Japanese origin portmanteaus of English words are more offensive than when I am called sir at a local Target.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
You know what it boils
I'm
down
glad
to?
you said that.
Honestly, is how many people have heard the phrase, you cannot demand respect, you earn it. Like, what makes anybody think that they just automatically deserve every ounce of respect that anybody can give them? They don't. And you go around acting like an asshole, you're going to get treated like an asshole. It doesn't matter what you're acting like an asshole about. If you're acting like an asshole, you're a fucking asshole. You don't walk into a place and say, I demand that everybody in here know my name is Becca. And if you don't address me as Becca, fucking fuck you. You're going on the internet. Everybody's going to shit talk you. No, you don't do that. You just don't. Everybody just needs to have a little tiny amount of respect for everybody else around them, whether they want to be left alone, whatever. Just you don't get to just demand that everybody cater to you.
Rebecca, if you call me sir, then you are literally denying my existence. You don't want me to exist. You don't want me to exist.
Maybe I don't. Maybe I fucking don't want you to exist. Maybe I'll just start saying that instead. If somebody walks up to me and says, "Hey, you need to address me as this," okay. How about I just don't? Like, how about I just completely forego, sir, ma'am, you just. How are you today? What would you like? I'm just gonna have to completely eliminate.
Just be aggressively passive.
I mean, if somebody were to yell at me, if like I, got in their way or didn't, I almost want to go and look at them and go, and just see them turn that dial down because they went, oh, and you just can.
Friend, and then hug them.
I can't tell if you're doing. Whoa.
What the hell?
What's going on over
I
there?
was getting the title of the video.
I didn't know if that was podcast cancer going on.
Oh, yeah.
Were you playing deaf there, or you?
Yeah, deaf.
Because I was gonna say that would be better because obviously they can't listen to our show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't offend anybody that's deaf by making those sounds.
Unless they got like Morse code blinky lights attached to the mixer bot, and they're something like that. I don't know.
I think we got way off topic from our 2009.
I don't even know what it was.
We need you. I know the whole point was that topic. We're not.
That is, yeah, we're actually right on topic.
We're coming back around because you guys were stalling. So
stalling.
You both stalled.
Please,
Becca and Dave, we need predictions.
I was laying the breadcrumbs, yo.
I've got plenty of predictions. I've got one for each one of you.
Just get one, write it down.
Okay, I wrote all mine down.
You got
already.
predictions of for us? Is that
I have
what you're
predictions for all of you for 2019, as well as for some other things.
I don't feel safe now.
I'm.
You're gonna kill yourself before
the verdict. No, okay. So my number one prediction, and I really do think this is going to happen. I really hope it's going to happen. Brendan Fraser will have a comeback. Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
There will be some kind of Mummy trilogy or some kind of remake of something.
A whole trilogy.
In 2019, a whole
2019, a whole trilogy. He's a busy man.
Brendan Fraser will have a comeback this year.
Mummy 2020.
He will live his best life in 2019.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Wow,
That's
that's
as
life.
random as random gets right there.
Another prediction for 2019 of mine is vaping will be outlawed. Not necessarily. Well, okay. I'm going to elaborate. You won't be able to vape in your car anymore. You'll start getting pulled over if cops see your car filled with vape clouds.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
That's
you
your
can,
prediction.
so you can do it with your window cracked.
They voted to outlaw it in all buildings because they didn't want drilling offshore. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's
You
right.
did vote for offshore drilling / no more vaping. Of course.
Pretty soon here, you're only going to be able to buy vape juice or even just Juul pods in vape shops that are 18 and up.
That's where I shop anyway. So
Well,
it's
I
not
mean,
gonna-
I usually pick them up from gas stations. I mean, they're
you can still buy gas. You can still buy cigarettes at the gas station,
but you can't get Juul pods.
it makes
no
all
sense
kinds
at
of
all.
sense.
Yeah.
Another prediction for 2019, and I don't know if this is true. This is just kind of a hope for me. I will get another dog. Okay.
Whoa.
I like how you just squeeze that in there.
How about after the move?
It will definitely be after the move. That is for damn sure. That is a prediction.
You want one of them? You want one of those Floridian dogs?
Is that so much a prediction, or is it more like a goal?
I can't see the future, Dave. Okay, Dave, how many followers do you have ballpark on Mixer with your streaming and your crosstown
I don't know,
B9?
not many. 48.
48. Okay, my prediction for Dave is he will hit 148
It
followers.
sounds like you're just making goals for everybody.
By the end of
Yeah,
the year.
is this just goal setting? 1 minute management?
Hey, I like it. Hey, put the challenge on people.
Nathan, you will lose that 25 pounds you've been trying to lose.
You
for the
can't.
last-
You don't
Why
even
do you need
have
to lose
that.
25 pounds, and
take
where
your-
would it come from? Your beard?
Yeah,
I got
your
I got
glasses.
a whole spare tire here, man.
You might need that one day. All right.
That's why they call it spare.
Speaking of Nathan's midsection, my prediction for Nathan. Nathan will become a black belt in Aikido this year.
Yeah.
Prediction. It's
Impossible.
Not, it may be
Mathematically
impossible, but that is my prediction. You know what else is impossible? Brendan Fraser's comeback, but I'm still predicting it.
No, Brendan Fraser's comeback is more possible. I just tested again, so I need 300 days.
Are you
Less
serious?
than a year,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Wow, that's a long
It's not
time.
impossible, is it? 365 days in a year?
300
So-
days of training or just
I don't know what belt you are. I
He's
thought that
first
there wasn't
Q.
a belt system, actually.
there is, they just don't wear them.
Brown.
Okay.
So I'm a first Q. That's my next test will be black belt.
That's
His
badass,
next
man.
Test.
I'm proud.
Thanks, Dave. But it's going to be probably like 4 years. before I-
Is it 300 days of training?
They just like, you had a class, 2 classes that day. That's a day of training. That's
Okay.
kind of how they count it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still gonna keep that down.
Okay. Keep
Okay.
that.
He's going to work really hard, and he's
Yep.
going to get it done in 1 year.
My prediction.
I'm gonna call up Sensei and be like, Sensei, we need more than 3 classes a week. We need classes every day.
I've received a challenge.
For at least 300 days straight.
I know you have a job and shit, and I have a job and shit.
But we're gonna power
Just
on
be
through
knocking
this.
on your
Yeah,
door.
we're just gonna say
Every
fuck
night.
those jobs. We're just doing this.
Watch Mulan for inspiration.
Okay.
My prediction for Brad is that he will, by the end of 2019, he will own a strip club.
Whoa.
That'll be a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper if you own it. Yeah, you don't have to
You think it
pay money
is?
there. You get to earn money
You're
there.
earning that money.
All right, and my prediction for Steve-O is that he will become Elon Musk's personal photographer.
Okay.
All right.
And
Yeah, that's not far-fetched at
Hey,
all.
I'll
his-
do it.
his
Yeah.
foot in the door already.
Yeah, foot in the door. Yeah.
You know, these don't seem equitable. It is doable that I would reach 148 followers in 2019.
Right.
But then we're pushing
Or
it with the
maybe she's-
mathematical
Or
impossibility.
maybe she's
there.
saying it's not.
Yeah. Maybe that's what all these are.
All right, well, Party Naked Podcast wants a prediction too, by the way.
Does he? Or 78% he?
Yeah,
Okay.
22% she.
Oh,
My prediction for Patrick
Yeah.
is that your band, your Friday night,
Yeah.
sometimes podcast interrupting band,
Yeah.
will sell 1 million records.
They don't even. They don't.
And they don't even sell. Nobody sells records anymore. Like nobody. Like people. Like bands don't go platinum anymore.
No.
They sell singles. They get their stuff on Spotify.
What's the name of one of your songs?
I don't remember.
Just
now.
blurt one out.
Fuck, you don't remember? You
No.
missed the show, but that sounds like that's.
No, there's footage of me.
Hey, the name of the band for anybody listening: Knox by Nights.
Man.
Knox by Night
All right.
Band.
Well, what's Party Naked Podcast prediction?
Party Naked Podcast prediction is
We
he
need to send him
will,
a
he
follow.
or she, I'm not sure, will gain the confidence to go full 80% male by the end of 2019.
He said he is cool.
He is
Yeah,
cool. So
yeah.
he-
Party Naked Podcast says he is cool. Like you can
he's
say, you can call him, and he.
Oh, Dildo Woman is one of the songs.
Yeah, see,
Dildo
Woman.
Dildo
could
Woman.
get let's say 1 million plays
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
wherever on
Yeah. Accumulated plays
accumulated
here and
plays.
there.
Dildo
Okay,
Woman.
so we're just missing Dave's predictions.
Dave.
I'm sorry I took up all the good ones. Did you think of anything yet? That's a no.
That's a no.
Come on, Dave. Just
You
say
got to do
something.
one.
Pull it out of your ass.
Let's think about Trump.
Yeah.
You know, all the shit that's going on with that. Is he going to be found guilty of collusion?
I think it's possible that by the end of 2019, Trump could possibly be censored.
Ooh, okay.
Like his Twitter account?
Censured.
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 Oh,
Not
censured.
Censured.
What does that mean?
Make it possible.
Cincy censor.
Trump will be like he'll have to like his tweets will have to be authorized by a panel.
It's a little more complicated than that.
Oh.
Are you saying censored or censured?
Censured.
What does that
Censured.
What is censured?
What's the word?
I mean, the exact definition. I mean,
Can you just paraphrase like what you mean by that word?
forget it. I don't even want to make the prediction anymore.
You just use this word that I'm not sure exists.
Talking about impeachment.
No, censured is different than impeachment.
Okay, how's it different?
Oh my god! I'll tell you what. The only way I know to do is just to give you.
What is this like a final warning for him
It's like,
before he's impeached?
well, it is the step below impeachment.
Party Naked says it is a word, and it's.
I know it's a word. I recognize it.
Censured means
It is a process.
expressed severe disapproval of, typically in a formal statement.
Okay.
Yeah, so they usually make a
the
letter.
Senate or whoever. writes
Yeah.
something and
Well,
says,
they all vote on
yeah.
that, and so they censure his comments and whatnot. So
You're
there
not
you
even.
go.
Everybody already thinks that. You're not even gonna go full impeachment on that. I would say.
I don't think
that's
I don't
very
think it's
possible.
going to happen.
I think it's possible. Could be.
I don't know.
Let's say impeachment, but not removal from office is possible because impeachment doesn't mean you're automatically removed from office.
That's correct.
Yeah.
As we learned in the 90s.
Right. Okay, so now we need a quick one from everybody. Celebrity deaths.
Oh shit.
One celebrity death or Mark, you got it.
Brendan Fraser right after his comeback.
Bill Cosby. He gets shanked in jail.
That's
Bill
harsh.
Cosby. Okay, hold on.
Dude, he would be a celebrity in jail. But he's in
Patrick
cushy
says
jail, celebrity jail.
Bill
already.
Cosby. Okay, Steve-O, go.
Well, the I don't know why the first person that popped into my head, and I don't even agree with it, but it's just the first person, Morgan Freeman.
Oh. Okay.
I
feel
think
like
I was trying to picture Bill Cosby, but Morgan Freeman was the one that came to mind.
What's another '90s band that just everybody loved, but they all just keep
Bush.
dropping?
Justin
Bush.
Timberlake.
Smash Mouth.
Bush.
Smash Mouth. Who's the
Bush.
singer? Lead singer?
I forgot his
Fucking
name.
who knows, man? Who does?
He's a rock
Honest.
star.
Can anybody name the lead singer of Smash Mouth?
Oh, that's Smash Mouth.
I
Oh,
don't think
Mr.
I don't
Mr.
even
70.
think this is gonna be a moment where I see it and I go, "Oh yeah." I think this is gonna be a moment where I go, "What?"
it's Eddie Vendelman,
Smash Mouth.
Steve Harwell.
Is that real?
right?
Yep.
AKA Eddie Vendelman.
Okay, here's my real prediction. It's a sad one. Sir Ian McKellen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's Magneto, right?
Magneto,
Yeah.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I have a prediction.
Okay.
I think in 2019 we're going to get proof. I mean, verifiable proof that Elvis is dead.
Ooh, okay. What about Hitler? We're gonna get proof of him too.
No, he lives in Argentina.
So your
Yeah.
celebrity death for 2019 is Elvis.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're throwing Tupac and Biggie. Get on that mix too.
Beethoven. Patrick, who's your 2019 celebrity death? You already said Bill Cosby. Nathan said Ian McKellen. Steve-O is with Morgan Freeman. Dave, are you sticking with Elvis, or do you want to give one that could actually happen?
I guess if you don't, I mean, you're saying that he's not going to die,
he's already
so I
dead.
guess you think he is.
Has this ever been disputed? Has Elvis's death ever been disputed?
It has
All the
been
time, man.
every yeah.
All the time.
Everybody says.
Didn't he
that
die
he's not
pooping
dead.
or something? Like,
You don't know about this?
You don't know about the whole Elvis conspiracy?
oh no.
Like- So many people do not believe that was him that died.
Have you
Yeah.
never seen the movie Bubba Hotep?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well.
It sounds like you've got some homework to do, young lady.
didn't
I want
even
to
do
say, didn't
homework
they
when I was in
dig up
high
his
school.
body one time? to test it.
What they did was they opened up his casket, and all they
Yeah.
found was a cheese sandwich.
A peanut butter and banana sandwich, actually. Okay, so we've got Dave. Come on, give us a real celebrity death prediction. Come on.
Just the first celebrity that comes to mind. It doesn't matter. I mean, they if they're too young, they'll overdose. If they're old, then they're old.
Harvey Weinstein will die.
There you go.
Okay.
Becca, did you give one?
I said Brendan Fraser,
Oh yeah.
and I'm not happy about it, but that's
It's
just.
just what's gonna happen.
Well, you the one that said it. You didn't have to say it.
Does anybody have to say anything? Does Party Naked have a prediction for celebrity death?
Party Naked. What's your prediction?
All right, so we've got everybody have all their predictions out that they want listed. I did write them all down this time, so you guys can't fucking.
You're not gonna throw away
Oh,
the notebook.
we're gonna build a wall. How about that? The wall will be started.
All right.
Or the giant fence. We'll call it a giant fence / wall.
Giant fence.
Will be started to be built.
Then I will counter that prediction, and I'll say I don't think it will be. just for shits and gigs.
15 minutes from now, and I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
Steve-O says no giant fence. Nathan says giant fence started. Anybody else have anything to say about a giant fence?
Party Naked. This is your one shot.
The giant fence will be built, but it will fall down because it was poorly built.
Because Mexico paid for it.
It's made out of plastic. It's a plastic wall.
All right. All right.
Got them all written down this time.
I reached out.
Okay.
Okay, here it is.
Huh.
Celebrity death. Jack Palance. Isn't he already dead?
I thought he was
Who's
dead.
that?
I thought Jack Palance was dead.
Thought he was already dead.
What, Who's that?
He was in City Slickers.
Yeah.
He's in a bunch of old westerns.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's been dead.
Jack?
Oh yeah. Right.
Okay.
Is he?
Well, wait. We could be confusing it with the storyline of City Slickers because Curly, yeah.
What he's doing?
No, he's been dead for 12 years.
Twins still roaming around.
Maybe it's a different Jack Palance.
Maybe.
I don't know. Well, Google brings up Curly from City Slickers. I definitely recognize that guy.
Okay.
Oh, and then Party Naked says, "Fuck, really? I thought he was in Unforgiven and Gran Torino."
Oh my God. Clint Eastwood, brother.
No way. You confused Jack Palance.
Clint Eastwood. That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna put Jack Palance and Clint Eastwood.
We could put Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
just
put Clint Eastwood. There you go.
Maybe it's a sad choice.
Yeah, maybe
He's old as shit.
maybe there's a conspiracy with Jack Palance. Maybe he's actually the CEO of Claxton
Maybe Clint Eastwood
Fruitcakes.
died and Jack Palance took his place. You know, like the fake Paul McCartney that's running around out there now.
All right, he says old white people all look the same. Love it.
It's only 78% racist.
That's right.
All right, Party Naked, you got to come back 1 year from now and see how your prediction does. And I'm going to give Party Naked a follow right here.
I already did.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh,
Giving you
I
guys
gave-
a follower. Yeah, I got you one.
All right. I believe it is.
Thanks for
time.
hanging out with us.
Is it that time?
Thank you for watching.
That
Friday Night.
time again.
Becca, you've been doing so much writing this podcast. I hope there was poetry in there too.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't lose this shit.
Do you remember what I said last week, right before I said my poem was I shouldn't do this when I'm drunk?
You shouldn't chew silly putty. Is that what you said last week?
Let it be known that I wrote down all of our predictions and a poem at the same time while drunk, and I did misspell when I was writing Party Naked to keep a record of their prediction. I wrote Nakde.
Huh.
Party Naked. So
Okay.
I don't have high hopes for what's about to happen here.
Okay.
But if it is that time, the time has come, I shall begin. This poem is called A Social Program. Look for a trap door. Take us inside. If you want a label, we all vote on it. The mainstream media is built to keep communicating, like hunters understand animals, waiting patiently to hear nothing. A milestone toward gaining insight. It's good now. It's smooth. A redo of civil rights, and the mission is important.
Awesome. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, everyone, for a great podcast. Thank you to Haywood Banks for our theme song.
Like and subscribe us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Leave 5-star review too. Be banging.
And don't fucking deal with Patreon whatsoever.
No, keep sending us money.
Yeah, as long as
through
that, yeah, keep
Patreon.
sending the Patreon money.
But still send Patrick
Yeah,
money.
That's right.
Send us money
Keep
so
the
we
monies.
can pay.
Until Jordan Peterson starts his thing.
Yeah, then he can send us crypto on that. That's cool.
And if you want to be a part of the show, well, you can be like Party Naked Podcast over here in the
78%
chat.
male?
Yeah. Hang out and watch us live on Mixer.com/Verbal Assault Podcast. You can really be a part of the show and leave us a voicemail at 865-316-6955.
Or go ahead and pick up a different phone and dial this number instead. 865-316-6955.
Perfect.
Deuces!